That's a fascinating concept, and maybe more fascinating, maybe one of the most fascinating concepts you've written about, because it's so extensive and probably...
Well, I think so. I like to think that really the whole of animal communication can, or much of it anyway, can be seen as extended phenotype, and I see a sort of web of genetic influence reaching out a long distance away from the animal itself, starting with the sort of limited range of the worm in the ant, changing the behavior of the ant from it's actually inside its brain, to reaching out 100 yards away across a wood, and a male bird singing across a wood and influencing a female bird 100 yards away.
Right. Now, if you apply that to humans...
It's difficult to apply it to humans. I mean, it's tempting to ask, is a building an extended phenotype? And the answer is, I don't think it is, because...
what about human behavior that affects other human behavior?
Well, possibly, yes. I mean, the building is not, because there are no genes that could be said to influence the architecture. I mean, if you could say that a gene in an architect actually causes him to build a certain kind of architrave, whatever it is they do, then that would be, but that's not the way it works. I mean, there may be genes that make an architect a good architect, give them a gift for draftsmanship or something, but it doesn't work. It's not like a bird's nest where the shape of the nest is under genetic control. So I hesitate to use the concept of the extended phenotype for humans, at least in that sense. You might be able to do it in other ways, perhaps. I suppose.
Whether that would be a charisma or a certain trait that
something like that you might be able to do it along those lines.
Right.
Yes,
that might cause the behavior in the opposite sex or the same sex, or get certain parts of that species to behave in different ways.
I think you might make a case for that.
And I know you talked about the meme in The Selfish Gene, and obviously that's been taken to whole nother levels. When you think about the meme and you kind of identifying it back then and where it's come today, what do you make of the journey of the meme?
Well, I really only wanted to make the point that universal Darwinism, the general theory of Darwinism, is all about the survival of replicating entities, replicating information. And DNA happens to be a very powerful replicator. It's the replicator which accounts for the whole of evolution on this planet. But I wanted to make the point that Darwinism is probably more general than that. And if there's life elsewhere in the universe, as I bet there is, if we ever find it, it will be Darwinian life. I stick my neck out and predict that. And in which case there must be some equivalent of DNA. There must be a replicator, replicating information, which replicates not quite perfectly, and in which different variants of that replicator are differential success in passing themselves on. And something equivalent to that will be going on wherever there is life. And then I said, well, maybe I can explain this without getting into too much science fiction, and say maybe there are other replicators other than DNA on this planet, in our form of life. Once DNA has built up animals that have brains, then if those brains can pass information from one to another in the form of some kind of replicator, anything that's imitated, it could be regarded as a replicator analogous to DNA. And if there's Darwinian survival value, Darwinian selection among those replicators, if something that is imitated, like a clothes fashion or a hairstyle fashion or a musical tune,
right, or God is a meme, you said before.
Yes, or an idea like God, an idea like life after death or something like that, then if some memes have greater survival value than others, if they're more likely to get imitated than others, if some tunes are more catchy than others, which of course they are, then they're more likely to get passed on. I mean, people will, catchy literally means catchy. It means you hear somebody whistling a tune and you get it in your head and you then whistle it again.
Replicate it. Yeah.
And somebody else whistles it. So clearly there are replicators in the realm of imitation, and clearly some are better at replicating than others. That is beyond doubt. So that could be the basis for a form of Darwinian selection. What else? Speech habits. I mean, there's during much shorter than my lifetime, during the last decade or so, people, especially young people, have taken up using the word awesome, just as a general. I mean, it just means okay. It doesn't mean awesome at all. It just means fine. You know.
Everything's like good.
I mean, if sometimes you say you're asked for your name, you give your name. Awesome. It's not awesome at all. It's just thanks. It's just okay. That's your name. Good. Tick that off. Awesome. That's a meme. I mean, that's something that's spread. The word basically, which means or
Yeah.
There are some people who cannot utter a sentence without basically. Other people can't utter a sentence without like. I mean, these are all replicators which get spread by imitation. It's not quite clear why, but it doesn't matter why. The fact that they do is enough to make them into a replicating meme.
Right.
So there could be, and I suppose in a sense there almost has to be, a form of Darwinian selection going on there.
Because it can be mutated as well. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Whether it gives rise to interesting evolution is another matter. I mean, the replicator, the gene as replicator, gives rise to these astonishing edifices like a rhinoceros or an elephant or an oak tree. And so the next question would be whether mimetic selection gives rise to something like which you could call an edifice, and that's where I thought religion might come in, because religion is not just one meme; it's a complex, a memeplex.
Right.
So something like the Roman Catholic religion could be regarded as a kind of body put together by a collection of memes, in the same way as a rhinoceros body is put together by a collection of cooperating is important, by the way, in genes as well as memes.
Right. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm going to tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone, also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline.
I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up.
If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you going to do? What's the choice that you're going to make?